Deflation is dangerous. Every central banker, every mainstream economist, every financial news anchor will tell you that. Falling prices are the enemy. Deflation is a catastrophe. That's the story. That's also exactly what they need you to believe. Because here's the truth. Falling prices, driven by human productivity, by technology, by ingenuity, aren't a catastrophe. They're the reward. They're what a healthy system is supposed to hand back to the people doing the work. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why falling prices aren't a threat. You'll know the precise mechanism that's been redirecting your productivity gains since 1971, and you'll know the specific class of assets that puts you on the right side of that mechanism before AI pours rocket fuel on it. If you don't understand this, you'll keep falling behind, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you don't yet see the transfer happening to your purchasing power every single day. Let's start with the definition, because the whole thing hinges on one word being used two different ways, and the confusion isn't an accident. Mainstream economics defines deflation as falling prices. That's what they measure, that's what they fear. That's what they will tell you to fear. But the original economic definition is different. Deflation means a shrinking money supply. Those aren't the same thing, and treating them as the same thing is how the sleight of hand works. Falling prices caused by productivity gains aren't scary. They're the natural output of the species that keeps figuring out how to do more with less. Think about what technology does. It makes things cheaper. The printing press, the assembly line, the internet, semiconductors, every single one drove costs down, passed savings on to consumers, and increased real purchasing power. So here's the question that should bother you. If technology naturally makes things cheaper, if productivity is supposed to make your dollar go further, why does everything keep getting more expensive? Why does your paycheck feel like it's shrinking in real terms every single year? Here's why. Falling prices aren't the enemy. They never were. They're the dividend that a healthy monetary system is supposed to pass back to the people doing the work. The fear of deflation isn't economics. It's propaganda. It's protection for a specific architecture and for a specific group of people who benefit from it. So if technology is supposed to be making your life cheaper, and it isn't, something is deliberately offsetting it. And we know exactly when that something started. We have a date. We have a chart. And once you see both, you can't explain it away. Pull up a chart. Productivity versus real wages from 1950 to today. For decades, the two lines, they move together. You produce more, you earn more. The system is working. Then 1971 arrives, and the lines split apart. What happened in 1971? Take a guess. Oil shock? Cold War spending? Recession? All reasonable guesses. All wrong. In August of 1971, Richard Nixon closed the gold window. The US dollar was no longer backed by gold. It became pure fiat, a currency backed by nothing but government promises. But wait, if we went off gold, how does that connect to wages? And here's how. Under a gold standard, the money supply was constrained. Productivity gains had nowhere to go but back to workers as purchasing power. Under fiat, the Fed can create unlimited currency, and it did. It printed enough money to more than offset every productivity gain technology ever produced. The natural deflation that technology creates, the gains that should have flowed to your paycheck, got swamped by money printing. Money printing capped your real purchasing power. The gains didn't vanish. Fiat mechanism redirected them. Asset prices inflated. People who own stocks and real estate rode the wave the Fed created. Wage earners chased a currency the Fed was diluting faster than their paychecks could keep up with. The chart doesn't show a malfunction. It shows a system working exactly as it was designed for a specific class of people. And this isn't ancient history, because right now, the most powerful productivity technology in human history is about to arrive. And under this system, the mechanism is going to run faster than it ever has. You've heard the AI fear narrative. Jobs disappear. Inequality explodes. Disruption everywhere. Those fears aren't crazy, but they're aimed at the wrong target. What if AI's real danger isn't what you think it is? AI is deflationary, massively, structurally deflationary. Under an honest monetary system, hard money, gold back, take your pick, AI's deflationary force flows directly to purchasing power. Goods and services get cheaper. Everyone benefits. The productivity dividend reaches the people doing the work. But we don't have an honest monetary system. We have fiat. And under fiat, the Fed's job, its actual job, is to offset deflation, to print enough to keep the debt-ridden system solvent. Government debt at historic highs. The printing isn't slowing, it's accelerating. AI delivers the biggest deflationary force in human history. The central bank's response will be the biggest inflationary counterforce in human history. The mechanism we just described runs at full throttle. And here's where things get interesting. You're going to hear about UBI, Universal Basic Income. Doesn't that sound progressive? Humane? The government stepping in to make sure everyone shares in AI's gains? UBI is the most sophisticated version of the same scam. Crumbs to the wage earners, enough to quiet the noise, while the mechanism that redirects the real gains continues untouched. The transfer keeps running, the gap keeps widening, and the people receiving the crumbs call it progress. The AI debate everyone is having is the wrong debate. The monetary debate is the right one. AI under fiat is a wealth transfer accelerant. AI under hard money is a universal prosperity engine. Those are two completely different futures. And the question isn't what AI will do. The question is which side of the asset versus wage divide you'll be standing on when the gap stops widening slowly and starts widening fast. So now the only real question is, what do you actually do with this? The mainstream will never tell you, but the answer is specific, and it starts by understanding exactly where you stand. Let's be clear about something. We're not moving off of fiat tomorrow. That's not the trade. The system isn't collapsing on a schedule with a specific date, but it's under the most extreme pressure in its history. Sky-high debt, accelerating money printing, the most deflationary technology in human history arriving right now, not in 10 years. The mechanism is under maximum load. The gap isn't going to widen at the same pace it did from 1971 to 2020. It's going to accelerate. The solution isn't to get out of the system. You can't opt out. The solution is to stop being on the wrong side of it. Stop being purely a wage earner. Become an asset holder. And specifically, hold assets that are the closest available approximation to an honest monetary system within a fiat world. Gold, Bitcoin, hard assets with fixed or constrained supply. These aren't speculative bets. They're the instruments that benefit from the exact mechanism we've just described. Every time the Fed prints to offset AI deflation, hard money assets reprice. That's the trade. The window isn't permanently open. The gap is starting to accelerate now. People who understand this mechanism before the repricing accelerates aren't lucky. They're early. The productivity gains from decades of human progress didn't disappear. They weren't consumed by AI. They weren't lost to globalization. They weren't your fault. They were redirected by a specific mechanism, activated at a specific date, designed to benefit a specific class of people. That map is already drawn. You know who wins and who loses under fiat. You know what accelerates the transfer. And you now know exactly where you need to stand before AI hits full stride. You're not falling behind because you're doing something wrong. You're falling behind because you've been on the wrong side of a mechanism you can now see clearly. The mechanism is visible. The assets are identifiable. The window is open. The only question now is whether you act on it or watch someone else do it first. You now understand the exact mechanism, the specific date it was activated, the specific class of people it was designed to benefit, and why AI is about to accelerate it to a speed most people won't be able to outrun. But knowing the transfer mechanism isn't the same as knowing what price is actually doing right now, or when this story becomes tradable. Here's what understanding this story also doesn't give you: the truth about price. It gives you a narrative, and narratives matter, but price is what tells you whether the narrative is true or not. The measured move is a framework for knowing the direction of price. It tells you whether this narrative is being confirmed by price or not. If you act on a story like this without that framework, you could be right about everything you just heard and still be on the wrong side of a trade for days, weeks, or even months. That's the framework that I teach. The traders in my community don't get trapped by bearish narratives. They know where a trend fails, and until it does, until price confirms it, they will trade a bullish trend until it fails, even if it is against a bearish narrative. They have a framework for reading it themselves. That's the process I teach every day at eminiaddict.com.